Hello and welcome back to Continental War. This is episode 6 and we have updated to 1.12.5, which means we can use the completely updated version of BD Armory, which makes the AI a lot better and just a lot of things better when doing our turns. But Xenos has stalled Operation Scorpion, and he has managed to take my forward operating base, so he is kind of foiled my plans a bunch of, just ways I wasn't expecting at all. So, our first move this turn is going to be to launch our fighter in the south that survived the battle in the south when we were clearing out the airspace over the base that we are taking off from currently. This is going to, I believe, Azamek, where Xenos has a single attacker there that just completely went around his own base and cut off our supply chain, took out the two 25mm emplacements that were there, and destroyed our supply trucks. So as a little bit of revenge, we fly in from about, I think, like 4 kilometers up. We pull it away from the 40mm emplacements. As you see here, it is taking off, and we dive down in on it with our 20 mils. We open up and put just a bunch of fire into that, I think it's called the Blitz. Yes, we see it, we strip off a wing there, and actually we did cut it in half. I don't see it here yet, but I do switch to it as it is crashing into the ground, or the water down below. Here, yeah, it's the whole tail's been cut off. I do get one of the pilots out and hope he actually just lands in the water and survives, but the entire plane does survive, so I just eject this other guy out of the plane once I switch back to it here, I believe. I do think, yeah, I do EVA him out of the cockpit there and swim away before I blow it up. You'll see me do that here, but definitely need to take this attacker out so it does not do any more damage in the south. I do have some plans to cover the forward operating base, as I do need to get supplies to Avalonia so I can continue building bridges in the south, but we are going to cut into our reserve forces here a little bit with these Rudder 1As. These are my interwar biplanes. These are attackers, and I have launched 2 of them here from Valley's Guard. Now, Xenos did manage to take my forward operating base last turn, but his tanks are completely undefended as his supply chain was cut off last turn, since I basically destroyed everything at his forward operating base. I just didn't take it. But he has taken mine, so we are sending these untrained pilots out to, well, they might not be able to take off, but hopefully they can bomb well, as we're going to need them to take out those 3 tanks that are at our forward operating base, so they do not become a threat to Valley's Guard. And now, with the updated BD Armory, there's been a lot of changes to how the AI actually bombs. This is the AI just bombing completely alone. I'm not assisting it here at all, and it just flies in pretty much perfectly and drops the bomb dead on. To take a screenshot there, I just cut that out. And that bomb, as we watch it fall in, it does land very on target. So that is another benefit. There's also something, we had issues of bombs blowing up if we were any higher than 3 kilometers, just blowing up randomly before they hit their targets. And now that we've updated, the bombs are now a lot more reliable. Take a nice screenshot as the AI flies our other biplane right past us there. But yeah, the bombs no longer blow up, so we can drop from that Python gets destroyed. That bomb also damages the other Python next to it. I don't know why Xenos used his older medium tanks here when he had newer ones. Maybe he wanted to use the different guns, I'm not sure. But we also do come in for a bombing run here, and we drop our 500-pound bomb right on target with the new bombing reticle that comes with the updated BD Armory 1.10.0. which is very nice. I definitely prefer it over the old bombing reticle we used to use. As it shows up on the ground, it feels a little bit more like War Thunder, you know. But yeah, the AI, I think I could change some settings to get the AI to bomb a little bit more effectively, but it's just extending currently. We watched that other Python detonate on the runway as well. Now these tanks are completely exposed, and luckily for me, there's no anti-air here, so the absolute just sluggishness of these biplanes is not really too big of an issue here. It just makes the bombs more accurate, which is very nice. We drop our next 500-pound bomb on the last Python there, and I do believe I switched to it. Yes, it's pretty heavily damaged from the one bomb that got dropped on the tank next to it, but that bomb definitely finishes it off, rips off the entire bottom of the tank, and yeah, it's dead. So Anyway, now we can move back up to our forward operating base with our fighters. So we take off 5 KE-6A Lances to go clear out the Irbilian airspace. And yes, I'm launching a surplus, as we do know the Lances do struggle a bit taking the Typhoons out, but hopefully I'm hoping that a 5-3 engagement will be enough for us to take them out. So we cut straight into them, us diving on them from our higher altitude. There's no early warning radar here, so we didn't have to deal with them taking off 10 kilometers sooner. But we dive in. There's no shots landed as we merge into this massive furball that does ensue. You see all of the planes starting to turn around as they pick their targets and begin to turn around to engage to get their guns on. I do instantly take control of this one, as I want to make sure that we at least get some kills or we win. We do see one of our Lances actually manages to strip a wing off one of the Typhoons right away, which is a very good sign, as that means there's only two fully operational Typhoons flying. We do see that one tries to fire its Hispanos at one of our Lances, but is not able to get shots on as it's having to evade me right on its tail. And there's another one. I have like two here. There's one on my tail, and then there's the one I'm chasing. Luckily, the one I'm chasing is maneuvering just enough. I do get a shot there and set him on fire a little bit. It seems like that actually, something exploded on him when he was going down below, because he winds up crashing. I don't know what I think I might have killed the pilot, actually, because you can't do that. I think I might have killed the pilot. But unfortunately, we do have an OE-6A Typhoon right on our tail after that happens. And you can see how hard these things are to get off. But I pull up and just kick the rudder to the as hard as I can, and it just flips the plane around, and now we are on the Typhoon's tail. So you gotta pull some pretty crazy maneuvers to be able to get these things off of your tail. But we do manage to get it off the tail, and we come around and strip a wing straight off that Typhoon, sending that one into the ground as well. So we have managed to take out all three of the Typhoons without losing a single one of our Lances. Now I'm hoping like this doesn't happen last turn, or a few turns ago, where all of our fighters got destroyed next turn. But I'm hoping these will provide enough air cover so the forward operating base doesn't just get bombed out this time. I do try and eject the pilot here, but I accidentally hit EVA report, and then I deploy the chute, and he kind of, I think it would have been better to leave him in the plane, because it just bounced off the ground, but we'll ignore that, because I do blow the plane up anyway. But now at our forward operating base, we deploy more defenses once again. We deploy our new SPAA models, which is just a supply truck with a gun. We deploy 2 25mm emplacements, 3 CA-6B rockheads with our ground launches, and we move our Lances here to cover the airspace. So hopefully this won't just get absolutely cleared out again and taken next turn. I'm hoping that it'll be able to defend. Now, our 2 biplanes we used earlier are sitting at Valley's Guard, where hopefully we'll be able to use them in future turns. And now, moving down to the south, our forward operating base, I have covered the airspace with 2 biplanes, also from the reserve forces. Hopefully these will make sure that our supply trucks, which we have launched 2 more down to the south to continue the supply chain, won't get bombed out again, so Operation Scorpion does not get stalled any longer. Now, moving down to Avalonia, we also deploy 2 heavy tanks from the reserve forces. These just have anti-air guns, one with a 37mm and one with a 3-inch gun. These will hopefully bolster our southern forces to continue pushing into Aurelia once our supply units catch up. And now for the naval launches, we deploy a light cruiser to the southern fleet to provide some anti-air support for it, and just to make sure that we can move without having to worry about aircraft too much. And now, back up to the north, we deploy a single destroyer to bolster the northern fleet. Now, this destroyer does have five, I think, Mach 5 torpedoes on it, so it's going to be able to, even though it only has 5 5-inch guns, it's going to be able to hopefully do some damage to bigger ships. And yeah, that's it for my turn. I do hope you all enjoyed, and yeah, it's been a little bit of a short one. Didn't have much to do. There hasn't been a naval engagement in a while, but anyway, I do hope you enjoyed. It looks like we are a little bit more set up to help, or to continue Operation Scorpion into the south, and if we keep Avalonia next turn, we will be able to launch from it directly. So even if we don't get supplies up there, we are going to be able to hopefully be able to hold it next turn and get our supplies there anyway. But I do thank you all for watching, and if you do enjoyed, be sure to maybe go check out the Continental War playlist if you haven't already. I will try to remember to link it in the description below. The mod pack should also be linked in the description below, so if you do want to mess around with that, we are updated to 1.12.5 now, so you can yeah, go mess around with that. And anyway, without any further ado, I think that's it for my video. So if you do enjoy it, I hope I will see you for the next one. And yeah, roll the outro.